If you like this video, hit the old thumbs up button, share, leave a comment for future videos and tutorials, and subscribe for more content. Hey guys, so that was a gold star run of Metal Folia. So this one had a lot of in-game sections. We had the main melody, then we had the rhythm guitar, and then the bass. I also added some harmonies as well as playing overhand to make this a little bit more flashy. I'm going to do a quick tutorial. It's mostly about the fast picking sections near the end of the song, but I'll show it with conventional fingering, underhand, the way you would normally play it. Okay, so here's the tutorial for Metal Folia. If you've come to this song unable to play, if those parts are challenging for you, you're probably not ready for this song yet. I'm going to skip those sections and get right to the part that most people are going to have some challenges with, which is going to be the fast picking section. So what's happening is you're playing a note and then playing an open string, playing a note, playing an open string. And your right hand, or your picking hand, is just strict alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, all on the second string, so just one string. So before we get to the left hand, you might want to spend some time working on your picking hand. So let's focus on that first. So what we want is to just isolate the motion and work on our picking. So I'm not even playing any notes here right now. So you could actually practice this with a concept that I've shown before, which is speed bursts, which is essentially playing a fairly comfortable speed and then doing a short speed burst of twice as fast. You would want to do this with a metronome. You gradually increase your speed until the fast section that you're playing is really pushing the boundaries of how fast you can play. The speed of this song is all about preparing enough, so it might take some time to just work on exercises, work on your speed, to develop the coordination and the feeling. It's a very tight, controlled action. At some point, you want to combine this with the left hand. Let's take the first sequence. So essentially, you're fretting one note, first finger, 5th fret, and then open string, 3rd finger, 7th fret, then open string, and then 4th finger, 8th fret, and then open string. We want every fretted note to be a downstroke, and then every open string to be an upstroke. Downstroke, open string, upstroke, fretted note, downstroke, open string, upstroke, fretted note, downstroke, and then open string, upstroke. In the beginning, if you don't have your synchronization down, you might end up having thuds or clicks because you're not releasing the string fast enough. So that's something that you want to try to focus on slowly, so you don't have things like this, where your finger doesn't quite come off the string fast enough, and then you don't get a clear note. I would strongly suggest memorizing all of these fingerings so you don't have to think too hard about reading. You can just focus on your fretting hand and watching your fingers move and concentrating on getting your timing with your picking. You could even take this in small sections. You can just isolate that, just to get it to the point where you're confident with it. I'm not going to go into great detail about all of the fingerings. You can take this into practice mode and clarify for yourself what each section is. So I'll just run through how I would divide this up into sections. Again, you can practice these as speed bursts. The next section is the exact same concept, and you would practice it the same way. It's all of the same frets and all of the same fingerings. The only thing is, instead of doing a fretted note to an open string, it's going to be forward sequence. So again, we want to spend some time working on each one of these patterns as a loop, as well as playing them as a speed burst if you haven't developed the speed yet. Finally, this is the section where a lot of people can get tripped up because all of a sudden you're playing a different pattern. So we need to be really careful when we get to this section when you're doing a different fingering, it doesn't trip you up and totally spoil your gold star run. That's an awkward fingering. 1, 4, 3. You would definitely want to spend some time getting that down as a loop. So the next part would be first finger on your 2nd string, 5th fret. I would use my 4th finger on the 7th fret of the 3rd string just so that I don't have to really stretch. If I use my 3rd finger, which feels natural at this point, that means I have to stretch to get my 1st finger to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So I would take these last 4 notes and play that as a little bit of a speed burst. So you start off with the 1st finger on that note, and then you end off with your 2nd finger. And then finally, try to chain that sequence together. I would probably stick to strict alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. I am economy picking. The way I'm doing that is down, up, down, up, up. Down, down. Once you have all of these patterns down, then you can try to chain them all together. So that wraps up the tutorial for La Metal Folia. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, leave any questions or comments for future videos and tutorials. There's a number of links in the description box. If you haven't tried Yousician yet, there's a link for the download, a link to the Facebook Yousician group page, as well as my Patreon page. I'll post another video next Wednesday and hope to see you Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for my weekly challenge stream.